Okay guys, so welcome to the third phase or the third set of exercises for our handstand progressions, and we are now going to look at controlled inversions. So the reason why I say controlled is because I want you guys to be safe. I don't want people trying to do somersaults or flipping themselves down the stairs or doing anything crazy, okay? First and foremost, your safety is paramount. So if you're unsure about doing any of these things, please listen to that voice that says this is dangerous and don't do it. However, if you are accustomed to doing, when we get to things like headstands and you're okay with it, there's still steps you can take to make sure you're as safe as possible. And one of those things is making sure there's someone around you to spot you to make sure you're doing it safely. But if you've never done headstands before, I would ignore that and just work on the other elements that are safe. Okay guys, let's go. What we're talking about is changing the position of our head so our head is upside down. Okay, first and foremost, why is that important? We get blood flow, increased blood flow to the brain, which is obviously a good thing for a lot of people, especially when you're tall like me, the blood hardly ever gets up there. The second thing is you start to become more aware of your equilibrium. So your equilibrium is your ability to know where you are in terms of space. So like I say, if you were spun around in different directions, sometimes we can get disorientated, so that we know that if we turn our head to the side here and we're over here, we're aware of where the rest of our body is in relation to space around us, okay? Proprioception, slightly different. Proprioception is knowing where your limbs are in relation to the rest of your body, but equilibrium is about knowing where you are in time and space, okay? Which way's up, which way's down. So we can do this very simply to start off with, and I'm not a yoga instructor and I'm not great at yoga. So my first recommendation is go to Emily's yoga class, because she's a fantastic teacher and she's got a way better down dog than me, but I'll do my best to try and show you my down dog. So the first thing I'm going to do is just change my head position, okay? So I'm going to go into my bear walk position and I'm just going to dip my head underneath, okay? So I'm just getting used to bringing my head underneath, looking through my legs, and technically now I am kind of upside down, okay? If I want to make this a bit more intense, I can take my weight forwards and I can really try and push my head through and underneath. But as a start, you need to know what this feels like, because if you were to kick up into a handstand, it can be very disorientating, and that's when we get all these defensive reactions, which tend to be quite bad and negative, where people pull out of a handstand and hurt themselves. So getting used to being upside down as such is a good idea. So with the down dog, okay, if you go more kind of yoga style, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to reach through my hands and I make sure that my hands are both reaching forward, spreading my fingers, gently pushing into the ground. I can straighten my legs, but if we're going to go more for traditional good teaching, I'm going to bend my legs first of all. And what I want is a nice straight line from my hands through my shoulders. I'm keeping my ears at my shoulder position, and I'm just going to hold that position there. Okay, so not only is this a good inversion for your head, but it's also teaching us some good positional awareness of our shoulders. So what I can do is I can practice coming out and then pushing through. So I'm starting to wake up those shoulders and that awareness of my shoulder and my head position, okay? So if we were going for more of a strict down dog position, we would then be dropping our heels down to the ground, reaching through the arms, trying to pull those heels down, bringing my sit bones up to the ceiling, okay? So like I say, this isn't the greatest down dog. I'm not great at yoga, but just holding this position, relaxing and breathing is going to build up a lot of strength. And the reason I didn't put this in the isometric section at the first is it is quite complicated as a move, okay? So that's just something to practice. Next up, guys, we've got pike holds. So with your pike hold, you are going to need either a box, a step, maybe using the sofa. And what we're going to start to try and do is orientate ourselves so that our shoulders are over and our arms are over our head a bit more, okay? So if you imagine in my press-up position here and here, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to walk my feet in a little bit more and try and position my hands so they're through. So it's like an extreme down dog really, but I'm just going to practice holding this position. I can bend my legs if I want, but what I'm looking for is a straight line from my hands, head and shoulders, and I can just hold this position and get used to breathing straight through the arms, strong through the arms in this position. And you can almost see this is like as a half handstand almost. Okay, but you can practice that once again, holding it for quality, not worrying about how long you hold it for, but as soon as you start to feel like you're struggling, come out of it, have a rest, 3 to 4 sets, and have a practice with that. Good stuff. Okay, the last one, no, there's not the last one, there's 2 more. The next one is the headstand. Okay, so with the headstand, this is the one I want you to be very careful with. Okay? So, first of all, when we do a headstand, what we're looking for is a triangle. I'm going to put my head down, I'm going to put my hands down. So what I'm looking at is a triangle. So we're here. I'm not going to move my hands in line with my head, okay? Because when I put my hands in line with my head, it's very easy for me to overbalance or underbalance, okay? So what I want you to do is, if you're not used to doing headstands at all, please don't do this. But if you've done a few headstands before, one of the safest things you can do is probably get a cushion, get against the wall, so something stable, prop your head against the wall, put your hands into that triangle position, and initially you can just hold this position. So just get practice using putting the weight on your head and your hands. If I push through my hands, what I can start to do is put less weight through my feet, and eventually I can actually prop one knee on there and one knee on there, and I can hold this position, and my back is resting against the wall here. So I'm dispelling. At any point, if you feel unsafe or it feels dangerous, please don't do it, but it's worth spending time just building up a bit of time here, just so that you get your head, your neck, your shoulders and your hand position stronger as you go. If you feel comfortable too, and you can prop up here, then you can eventually push your legs out, you can feel the wall all the way, and you can just hold that headstand. And once again, I wouldn't recommend you hold this for a long time. You're just getting used to being inverted and holding this position. Pointing your toes and then coming down. As you come down, please come down carefully. So you're bringing your legs down carefully, bit by bit. And I've just gone really red and felt dizzy. So give yourself a bit of a break between that. I wouldn't recommend doing a freestanding headstand, just because that is a chance of really hurting yourself. So please make sure that there's either someone with you to support you, or you're firmly against the wall so you can't go anywhere. And having a cushion helps as well. The last exercise we're going to look at is the wall walk. Now with the wall walk, once again, you can go as far as you feel comfortable, and this is just about loading the shoulders and again hitting that inversion position. So a wall walk from the side, you make sure you've got a strong wall. You wouldn't use this, I'm just showing this for an example. And you're going to put your feet against the wall, and you're just going to walk your hands in. So even if you're here and you're pushing your head through, this is a nice position. I'm getting inverted and I'm getting closer to that handstand, okay? I bring myself down slowly, have a little breather, okay? So as you feel comfortable to, if you feel you can walk your legs up and walk your hands in a bit closer, you can get into a full handstand position. The danger here is that you don't want to overcompensate and overbalance there. So I would always keep your legs in front of your hands so you're underbalancing, and then just take your time when you come down. Okay guys, so those are your inversions. Once again, you're mixing them in with all the other exercises you've done so far, not trying to overdo it, but taking your time to get proficient and good at each one. Good work guys.